this is Arts and Crafts with Luba Carlson, and today I'm taking you on a journey. This project is probably more for kids, right? What we're doing is a treasure map right here. But also I thought, because I had so much fun creating this, I thought it would be something fun to do even for an adult. So what we're gonna need for this is really quite simple. Grocery bag page. I just cut it out. That's all I did with that. I removed the handles and I just have this brown paper to use. I have a whole bunch of coloring pencils and a whole bunch of Sharpies. Now, if you do not have colorful Sharpies, don't use them. It's all right. Just use your coloring pencils. Maybe you have markers that you'd rather use or some other supplies. Look around your house and see what you like to use, what things make you happy, and just bring all of that in and let's create at first I thought a treasure map, and now I'm thinking adventure map, maybe? So let's see what we can do with this. All right, I'm gonna set my map up here as it's done. And now this piece, first thing, we are going to crumple it up the best we can. What this does is it helps it look old and worn, like an old map would. Also, it makes the paper a little bit softer and easier to work on. Oh, look at that. How cool is that? Okay. Now, next, we're going to tear off the edges, just so that they look so torn and kind of worn. Maybe this map got dropped in a fire somewhere, right? Maybe something happened, we don't know. All four sides. There we are. Look at this. Perfect. Okay, next I'm going to use a brown. I'm going to use dark brown coloring pencil. And I'm just going to go down the edges, like all the way around the edges, and add a little bit of darker color just around it. Okay, now with this map, I used a brown Sharpie to do the same thing. So I just want to show you that there's different ways to do this. And then maybe go back there. And I wouldn't worry too much about making it all even. The less even it is, or the more uneven it is, the more it'll look like an old map. What do you think about when you think treasure map? Like my first thought is the treasure island. And then I start thinking pirates. And now I thought of the Pirates of the Caribbean. That could be fun. That could be a fun inspiration to go off of. Right? Okay, almost there. Almost got it. All right, now, if you want to make your map look even older, I haven't done it on this one, you can take your pencil on the side and just use the color part and go a little bit and rub on those, what do you call them? Texture, like rising parts of the paper. See where they go up? Just don't put a whole lot of pressure on your pencil to do that. And we don't need a lot, just a little. It will make your paper look even older. Looks like I'm going back to the same areas, which is good. Maybe a little bit here. Okay, now what is the story, right? Because we're creating a map. We are making a map. So what is the story? What is happening? What is hidden? Where is it hidden? Like this whole plan has to start with the treasure. Okay, so my treasure here, it's right there, is hidden behind a very hungry alligator. And then the treasure has a lock, right? And that lock needs a key, and the key is hidden inside the tree. And so, like, okay. And then you can only put your ship in a harbor that has rocks stacked up on it. So that's kind of my plan about hiding my treasure here. What would yours be? Do you have an idea? So I'm thinking that I will start backwards, just like we talked about, and I will probably start with a Sharpie to just create a little bit of an outline so that I know what I'm doing, right? So for the treasure, I'm gonna grab a red Sharpie and I'm gonna mark an X somewhere, probably here. So that's where my treasure is gonna be. Okay, now to get to the treasure, where do we need to be? Where do we need to go? What's around the treasure? What is happening? Maybe the treasure is inside of a cave in a mountain. Whatever happens, right? It's all good. Like whatever you add to this idea is yours. So how about my treasure this time is gonna sit at the foot of a mountain. And so this mountain is just shaped like a triangle. Good luck finding a mountain like that, right? And then behind that, there is a mountain that's shaped like letter M. And then there is another one going off all the way there. That's quite something, I guess. And then in front of the mountains, I will have some hills. And I think I'll just do that with a pencil. And I'll just add a hill here and a hill there. So you kind of have to find the mountain before you know where to go. So I guess we'll be going to the mountain. So our way will be coming through here, and then maybe let's try so that we have like a nice, interesting story to go for it. I will maybe make a trail, and it will go. They will need to find something up here at this spot. What will they find? That's a wonderful question. They will find an orb. An orb is a sphere. I'm just gonna do it this way. They're gonna have to look for a sphere. I'll decide what kind and what is later. That's all good. Under that sphere, there is going to be a key. So I need to put a key right on here so we don't forget. What do I do with the key? How do I do that? I'll just use a coloring pencil. Does it show? Nope, not very good. Let's maybe use orange. Does that work? Okay, it's just a symbol of the key, so I don't forget what's happening around there. All right, once they have the key, no, we're going backwards. Okay, so I hit the treasure, boom, 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 then I'm going back to get out of there, and I'm hiding the key over here, and then I'm going back all the way to here. And here is going to be, ooh, a magical landing pad. So these are just going to be rocks being there. And the only way to get here will be by flying. How about that? I don't know. Sounds like fun. Now, why did they have to walk around here? Well, because there is a forest. Let's create some big trees. I'm looking for dark green. I know I had it. It's right here. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to put some huge trees in there. See, it's a map, so it doesn't really need to be a piece of art. It just needs to show certain symbols so that people can read it and can understand it, so that everybody knows what's happening there. Okay. But this is not just any forest. This is the forest where a teal bear lives. I'm gonna put a, and yes, he's teal, because that's fun. Gonna give him round head, big ears. He doesn't look very scary just yet. Then we'll give him a nose. And then when it goes to the mouth, we're gonna make him angry. And maybe, let me see, what can I get? Orange. He's gonna get very angry orange eyes. Ew, this dude is scary. And maybe he will have big white teeth. 3 of them. Would this scare you away? Would you think, oh, never mind, I don't want that treasure anymore? I would think twice before coming here. And maybe, you know, maybe whomever's looking at my map will think, oh, that's not a bear. That's something different. Whatever it is, it looks scary. That's the point. Because I want to scare you away from my treasure. Nope. I'm putting some pupils in the eyes because, you know, gotta have the eyes. Okay, so you have to fight the bear or whomever he is. Now the rest, I am just gonna make green. All the way through here, maybe a little greener. Maybe this hill is gonna be greener. There. Go up here. And then I'll decide what I'm doing with the mountains as well, right? Okay, so to here and come back here. Okay, now what is that orb? What is that? That's actually that is like a sphere, and it's made out of glass. And so it's all colors in there. So it's a little bit of this and a little bit of that. It looks very magical, but it's really not. It's just super, super heavy. And you really kind of have to lift it without making too much noise, which would be pretty hard to do. Oh, I broke the pencil. Let's do that. I really hope that by now you're already like in your own journey and you're already having your own adventure with this. I'm gonna use my gold Sharpie and I'm gonna make that key look gold. Because you know what? Maybe they will just come and grab the key and leave. Maybe they won't get my treasure at all. Okay, then I'm going back to the mountains. Mountains must have a white top, right? So I want to do these two mountains to have a white top. That's how I want them. But then these two are going to be special mountains because it's a special map. So they will have to look for mountains with pink tops. Because why not? There, something like that. Okay. Then the mountains need walls, you know, like sides and sides. Let's do that. There's one. There is another. And then we'll do that. Okay, so we kind of have this part here. This is good. Going all the way to the orb. Now going here. Why would we not go through here? Because we cannot. We cannot go through there. Because there's actually, whoop, a lake. Very strange looking lake. Or maybe it's an ocean. Maybe it's a peninsula in the ocean. I don't know. I haven't come up with that yet. I don't know. I don't have all the ideas yet. No, it's a lake. It's a lake because it needs to be fresh water. Because in this fresh water lives an alligator. And that's why we cannot just cross from one side to the other. We have to walk around. Okay, the alligator. Let's create the alligator. Maybe right here. That will be his nose. Going this way. Give him big hungry eyes. And the head. And he's so big that he doesn't even fit in this map. There, something like that. And his eyes are gonna be glowing orange. And his scales are kind of, oh, am I down to like one green? There's, I think this is also green. Yep, this is green. Okay, we'll just use that, make them a little bit darker in some areas. Make them a little bit lighter. Give him nostrils. And of course, give him some eyeballs, right? And he's angry, so he gets angry eyebrows. Are you having fun yet? And of course, he's got super sharp teeth as a warning. Stay away from my treasure. Okay, and now we're gonna color that water. Of course, if you want to, you can go like with wavy lines, but this is just a map, so I am not gonna worry too much about that. Yeah, don't mess with that dude. Okay. Rocks. So I'm just using something like grayish, and I'm gonna do color part of the rock with that color. And then I'm gonna switch to a darker color and finish coloring the rocks. Darker. Can I find something darker that's not black? Yes, I can. This one. So I'll just do a little bit of that. I wonder how we ended up with flat rocks on, like, in the middle of nowhere. Who brought them there? How did this happen at all? I don't know. I have to come up with an idea how this happened. Is this too... Okay, I like this color. This is very dark blue, actually, but I want to like fill in between the rocks a little bit. So maybe it would make a little bit more sense. So the rocks are not just like floating in the air for no reason, but they have something there that they're sitting in. And on my first map, I actually gave them directions. I said, hey, you're gonna need a ship. And that's how you get to the island. And guess what? I'm not giving them any hints. So they're gonna have to figure out where this place is and what's happening. And now in between, we're gonna put a desert. Oh, wow, that's very orange. So I'm gonna add some more yellow to that. Nope, nope. Yes. And then here we're gonna have cacti growing. So I'll just do one cactus like this and one like that. Grab my black, make sure that it has needles. Don't mess with that. Should we add something scary to this too? Just to ward them all off. Nobody's coming to my treasure. How about... I don't like snakes, but I have to. Let's do... I'm thinking, oh, maybe a Sharpie. Maybe a Sharpie will help me with this. Let's do a very bright green snake on here. Okay, how do we want to do that? Okay, I'm gonna start with a coil. And then I'm gonna let it grow. And then I'm gonna give it a head. Ew, I don't like snakes at all. Does this look like a snake? I think it does. Something like that. And maybe that? I don't know, maybe this. Just to make sure There, that's a snake. Stay away. Stay away from my treasure. Yeah, that's kind of an interesting story that I come up with here. So I hope you kind of came up with your own story. Now, when you're done creating, you're gonna have to crumple this up again. So we're just gonna go and do this again. Ah. And open. Yes, and now we pretend like people fought for it. And you can only do this with this brown paper. You really cannot do things like that with your regular, printer paper. It won't work. There. And we have an adventure or a treasure map to play with or to maybe hide and not let anybody see it. I will see you in the next one. Thanks for being with me.